United Nations schedules Gaza meeting during Rosh Hashanah, an unprecedented case of religious exclusion. The timing appears designed to prevent Israeli officials and observant Jews from participating in discussion about Israel's ongoing conflict with Hamas. I'd love to see them try this with Ramadan. Sources familiar with the meeting revealed that it will focus specifically on the war in Gaza and was deliberately scheduled during Rosh Hashanah due to pressure from the Organization of Islamic Cooperation, OIC. Rubbish, man. It's because the UN is anti-Israel. So they schedule a meeting integral to Israel that needs Israeli input and voice in the middle of Rosh Hashanah so that they won't be there. Whoops. Was it a scheduling conflict? You obviously didn't think it was important because you never came to the meeting. We did our best. We're the United Nitwits. Nations. It's absolute insanity in front of us on full display, and no one wants to acknowledge the bias against Israel. Again. Iran and Russia to sign documents on building new nuclear reactors in Iran. How about slipping some materials through to them and helping them with bombs? Obviously. Western governments accused Tehran of failing to abide by a 2015 deal with world powers aimed to prevent it from developing a nuclear weapon. Then Hamas sent a letter to US President Trump proposing release of half the hostages in exchange for a 60-day ceasefire. We should not be even talking about these or thinking about these anymore. Just give up the hostages. Period. Trump convened 8 Arab Muslim leaders to present a Gaza future plan. Trump's motorcade. Now this was beautiful. I posted some of this on the wall, but it got even better. And I'm strange that way. Some world leaders I enjoy even more when they get egg on their face. I have some favorites that I really want to see get egg on their face. And when they do, I really do enjoy the moment. Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan was the latest world leader to be humiliated by Trump when he was stopped on the streets of New York to make way for the US president's motorcade. This comes a day after Emmanuel Macron from France was humbled by the cops after they stopped him and forced him to wait on the street for Trump's police escort to get through. Erdogan appeared visibly annoyed as he left the UN headquarters in Manhattan, and footage shared on social media, the Turkish leader can be seen waiting on the street, surrounded by bodyguards as cops kept a large crowd of people from walking down the street. Erdogan's reaction was not as calm as his French counterparts. Several have commented on how world leaders were forced to wait on the streets of New York, with many accusing Trump of humiliating his counterparts in a power play. Now, what's my opinion on this? Number one, we'll start gently. You're in America. It's his country. So if he's driving around, he gets the right of way and he gets the roads blocked. If you were in Turkey, Erdogan would have the right of way. If you were in France, Macron would have the right of way. If you were in Saudi Arabia, MBS would have the right of way. It's kind of how it works in those countries. So suck it up, buttercup. Secondly, yes, I fully believe Trump planned it and he's humiliating the lot of them because he really enjoys that kind of thing. That's kind of his playbook. I could see him giggling in the motorcade and saying, right, who's next? Where's the next one traveling? Then we've got eyes in the sky. Okay, let's go block that one next. I do believe Trump enjoys that kind of thing. But again, his country, he gets first go. The rest need to suck it up. That's my opinion. Then Trump revealed a plan for AI to control biological weapons. What could go wrong? Sounds like an awesome plan. High five for everyone staying behind. Trump goes scorched earth at United Nations meeting. One of his comments, your countries are going to hell. Yep, quite a lot of them. But there is hope, and that hope is in Jesus Christ. And while we're still here occupying, we will be preaching that truth and showing people the way. And the Holy Spirit will be empowering us and helping us as we take this good news to the nations. In a major shift, Trump says he now thinks Ukraine can win back all of its territory taken by Russia. President Trump said Tuesday afternoon he thinks Ukraine, with help from the European Union, because that's been really useful the last few years, could win back its territory from Russia and return the country to its original borders. The president suggested numerous times that giving up some land would be a key component to resolving the war with Russia. After getting to know and fully understand the Ukraine-Russia military and economic situation and seeing the economic trouble it's causing Russia, I think Ukraine, with the support of the EU, is in a position to fight and win all of Ukraine back in its original form, Trump said on Truth Social. The president said Russian President Putin and his country are in big economic trouble, and this is the time for Ukraine to act. He said the US will continue to supply weapons to NATO for NATO to do what they want with them. Now, what that whole story tells me right there is that he's gotten some really bad advisors on board, and they have swung him away completely from where he was to where he is now. It is a huge shift. It's a shift to aggression and war. It's a shift to major provocation. It's a complete change of direction for Trump. So again, that tells me, sitting all the way down here in Limpopo, South Africa, that somebody gave him a bunch of new advisors. And this is them speaking through Trump's mouth. Trump says NATO countries should shoot down the Russian jets that violate their airspace. Because come on, people, we got to get that World War III big move going. In a bold statement underscoring escalating tensions in Eastern Europe, former President Donald Trump, don't know why they say former president, has called on NATO member countries to adopt zero-tolerance policy towards Russian military incursions. The exchange unfolded during a press interaction at the White House when a reporter directly challenged Trump. Do you think NATO countries should shoot down Russian aircraft if they enter their airspace? Without hesitation, Trump responded affirmatively, saying, "Yes, I do." His concise yet unequivocal reply highlights his willingness to escalate military protocols, contrasting with more cautious approaches from current administration officials. Now, my question here again is, okay, Trump, you're telling them to go ahead and start a war. Next time the Russian planes enter your airspace, in Alaska, in your airspace, your zone, you're going to shoot them down. Lead by example. Shoot them down. Let's see what happens. UK and Poland vow to confront Russian aircraft violating NATO airspace. Russia shrugs off criticism as Poland and Estonia speak about the incursions at the UN Security Council. European allies have vowed to shoot down, taking Trump's advice, any Russian aircraft violating their airspace after NATO members accused Moscow of repeated incursions into the alliance's territory in recent weeks. If another missile or aircraft enters our space without permission, deliberately or by mistake, and gets shot down and the wreckage falls on NATO territory, please don't come here to whine about it, Poland's foreign minister said. His warning was echoed by Poland's Prime Minister, Donald Tusk, who told reporters, "I want to be very clear, we will make a decision to shoot down flying objects without discussion when they violate our territory and fly over Poland. There is no room for debate." On Friday, Estonia reported 3 Russian MiG-31 jets crossing their airspace for 12 minutes before being forced to withdraw. The incident followed an entry of 20 Russian drones into Polish skies earlier in the month. Russia rejected Estonia's claims and says it lacks evidence. There'll be a lot of evidence if they start shooting down Russian planes and starting World War III. Dmitry Peskov, the Kremlin spokesperson, told reporters on Monday, "We never heard in the Estonian statement that they have objective monitoring data to back up their claim. We consider such words to be empty, unfounded, and a continuation of a completely reckless pattern of escalating tensions and provoking confrontational atmosphere. So now we wait. Who's going to shoot down the first Russian plane? Or shall I say, attempt to shoot down the first Russian plane? Drone, no problem. I'm sure that won't spiral. But shoot down one with a pilot in, or try. And what if that Russian pilot's better than your Top Gun and shoots you down in the process? Is Russia now the aggressor because he's defending himself even though he's in the wrong airspace? You see how tricky it starts getting. And just like that, whoops, they fumble into World War III. Like World War I was started with a bit of a fumbled assassination. It could happen again. But on a lighter note, scientists have printed viruses designed by artificial intelligence, because we want to give them biological warfare, access to all our military, design, control of all our systems, everything. What could go wrong? They make such awesome videos for us. They're so funny. Gorillas that talk. The next step, they say, is AI-generated life. A team of researchers from Stanford University and the Arc Institute in Palo Alto, California, say they've created viruses, because awesome idea, with AI-designed DNA that can target and kill specific bacteria. And these aren't simulated possibilities. They're real and slaying germs in the lab right now. So pretty much mankind engineering his own destruction and thinking it's an awesome idea. What stops AI from targeting other specific groups and taking them out? Now that they're practicing, that is. And then just for fun, tying straight into the New World Order plan, Elon Musk says that when robots take over by 2030, always 2030, very big thing, 2030. We will all have the best medical care, food, housing, and a universal high income. You will stay home in your smart city. You will receive your funds as long as you toe the line and do as you're told. You will be monitored and watched on social media. You will have a credit score that will be tied to your mark. And that's how things will work in their new world order. With robots everywhere, in every household and everywhere that can be used to facilitate judgment, lockups, control, all sorts of things. And to make sure the destruction of mankind is on track. Because make no mistake, Lucifer is not coming to inspire mankind to be their best self and spread through the stars and start cultures all over the place. No, he's here to engineer the destruction of everything touched by God. Everything. That is his plan. Even those that think they worship him and live for him are slated for destruction, because that is who he is. We, however, stand on the side of the Lion of the tribe of Judah, and he is in control. He reigns forevermore. God bless. Keep looking up. As everything spirals into crazy, we get closer and closer to being in the arms of our Lord. Shalom.